Hello, everybody, and welcome to Season 3 of Zach's Artful Podcast, where creativity meets conversation. I'm your host, Zach Cobb, and welcome back to Season 3, y'all. I'm super excited for what we have in store for the future. I won't hold up any of your time. Today, we have an awesome interview with the amazing Kay of 57 Studios. So kick back, relax, and enjoy the ride. Y'all, the legend is here with us today.
I've never been called a legend before.
You are. Well,
nice.
You know
Thank
you're
you.
a legend to me.
Yes,
so welcome, Kay.
Yes,
thank
the
you.
two legends. Let's go.
Two legends celebrating together. We love to see it. How are you doing?
Doing pretty good. How about you?
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you so much for joining me on my show today.
Absolutely.
So tell people a little bit about yourself.
Yeah. I'm Kay. I'm 24 years old. I'm currently based in Columbus, Ohio. I consider myself at this point a multimedia artist, so
okay, go off and
not
flex.
really. Well, I mean, I just like so many different things that I can't choose just one thing to do.
Right.
So I just kind of like a wide array of things. So I like crocheting a lot too. That's one of the other big things I do. I like painting. I haven't done painting in a while. I'm not very good at painting, so we're not going to add that to the list. But primarily, like,
it's
photo.
a thing you can do.
Yeah. If I try really hard, and retry over and over again. But, I primarily do photo and illustration right now. I studied animation. I'm assuming we probably will get into that later.
All right.
But, yeah, so a wide range of things. I am most happy with my photography stuff that I've been doing. So I've always really liked photo. I did a lot of photography stuff. I mean, a lot of photography stuff. I mean, like Tumblr girl-esque type stuff back in middle school. But so I've always liked photo. I originally wanted to go to school for photo. But I fell off of that once I got into school doing animation stuff. So I've only actually been doing photo for a few months now, maybe like 6 months. But I'm actually happy with like how that's going. So I would probably say that. Okay. I love animation, but I have not done it in a long time, so it would be rusty if I tried again. So
I feel it. I've done when I first came to CCAD, I did their Saturday morning classes.
Nice.
And one of the first ones I did was 2D animation. So we learned to work in Toon Boom.
Okay, yeah.
And kind of like learn how to do frame by frame and stuff like that. I was awful at it.
You know what? That's okay.
It's
not for everybody. You probably weren't awful at it. You probably just didn't
I was
vibe with it as much as you wanted to.
It's like, so. I tried to make the best stick figure ninja that I possibly could.
Yeah, that's how you start. I remember watching a lot of that stuff when I was in middle school on YouTube of like the stick figure fights and stuff like that. I was like, ooh, that's kind of so cool. I want to do that.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like, I could totally do that.
Yeah, I could draw a stick figure. And then it's like the wonkiest stick figure ever. I'm like, you know what? He's got a personality.
Right.
So, yeah.
His name is Clarence. That's good enough.
Yeah.
That's funny. Like, I always tell people that always say, like, oh, I wish I could draw like that. It's like, if you could draw a stick figure, then, like, you're set in stone for that. But, like, animating that is a whole other... Drawing it, like, a bajillion times to make it look smooth.
Yeah.
I commend anybody who, like, goes down that rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Kind of, like, what made you want to commit to that?
So I would say the kind of spark to get into photo stuff was towards like the middle or end of last year. I started going to comedy shows down here in Columbus, downtown to different places, and through that I made actually a lot of friends. A lot of my friends do comedy, and so being around them, going to their shows, all of that kind of stuff, they didn't really have people taking photos. And like one of my friends, his name's Steven, I love him, Steven Hobson, he's amazing. He does comedy, but he'll do photos sometimes in video, like film people's sets for them every so often. And so talking to him about, you know, doing art things and whatnot, found out that they don't really have a lot of photographers. And so I was like, well, I like photo. So, you know, I'd be willing to take some photos here and there. So I honestly just kind of brought my camera with me, and then whoever was hosting the set or the event, or whoever owned the venue that the event was in, I'd be like, hey, do you care if I take pictures just like for fun? I'm trying to build my portfolio. And so far they've all been super sweet, and they've been like, yeah, go for it. So I've started to do that, and I think kind of what also sparked my interest getting into that stuff more is if I do go down the photo route, I want to do like concert photography because I love music.
Yes.
And the one band that I follow really closely is 21 Pilots, and they have amazing photographers, and I love the work that those folks do. Like right now, one of their main photographers, his name is Mace, and I love his art. So I'm just kind of like following my inspiration. I'm following where my creativity is kind of taking me right now.
Yes.
So yeah.
When we first met, you, me, and our mutual friend Peyton, who was on our previous episode, we were all talking about the upcoming shows and the album. So I believe the new single just came out yesterday. Was it yesterday? Or?
I think it was last week. I don't know. It feels like it's been a long time. It's honestly
some time ago.
It's been the only song I've had on repeat since it came out. So I will literally be sitting in my office, and I have to turn my computer down to like volume 2 so that I'm not bothering everybody else at work, because I'm like, I have that little earworm right now that's like, listen to this song.
Right,
like, okay,
it's like that earworm must stick when the concert comes.
Yes, I'm so excited.
Oh, that's so awesome.
Yeah.
What got you into 21 Pilots?
Oh my god. This was back in like 2014. I was in like middle school.
Old days for me.
Yeah, I was in 7th grade, I think, when I kind of discovered them. The first song I heard of theirs, and it's been my favorite ever since, actually, is Forest, which is off of their album Regional at Best, which isn't really an album. It's not one of their official albums. It's just something that they kind of put out
so like
before.
A mixtape-ish kind of?
Kind of, yeah. Almost like a... They've called it before a glorified demo, almost. Because they took some of the songs off of that album to create their first official record, Vessel, and stuff. But I love Regional at Best. Like, everybody dogs on it because, you know, Tyler loved his auto-tune back in the day. He loved his cursive singing. And so people are like... people are like, oh yeah, the microwave trees. And I'm like, listen, microwave trees is what got you trees on Vessel, okay? Leave me alone. So I love that album. I defend that album. But yeah, so I kind of found their music then. This was like Blurry Face era, so that's when they started to get into the story building with their music. And I love a good little like story and a little like cryptic mystery that's like
concept record.
Yeah, like you can make theories and lore and this, that, the other about it. So yeah, I just fell into that pit, and I never got myself out of that pit.
Listen,
I actually dug myself in deeper on purpose. So we love it. So yeah.
I love that I got into them when Blurry Face came out.
Yes.
You know, all the I keep calling it the ghetto days, but it's supposed to go stressed out.
Yes. Yeah.
But it's the way that Tyler does it is the ghetto days.
My God, I'm gonna hear that every time I listen to that song now. I honestly, if somehow, some way they find this podcast and they're listening, Tyler, don't hate me, but that's like the song I always skip. That song, Ride, and Heathens. Those are my three. Like I love them.
I despise I despise Ride.
Yeah.
I can't. It was the fast rap for me.
Oh,
it felt so try hard. It's Machine Gun Kelly core trying to rap fast.
See, I don't like MGK.
No,
so,
I couldn't. I get it. My neighbor loves him. I can't I don't see the vision.
Yeah.
He gives off the feeling of like someone someone that's trying to be an outcast, but like not understanding what an outcast is.
Like, homie, you're the popular kid. Stop it. Like,
you're like, I'm just so misunderstood. Meanwhile, like thousands of friends hanging out with them at the lunch table.
Yeah. And I'm in the corner by myself. And like, okay, I've got me in my hot pocket. That's
me and my
AirPods with my 21 Pilots. That's all.
Me and my one friend just sketching in our sketchbooks, just having our inside jokes about Dungeons and Dragons.
Yes.
No, I feel that, but no, I loved Blurry Heathens was like the go-to song of mine that like really made me a fan of theirs because like I heard it on when the Suicide Squad movie came out. That was the soundtrack's the only good thing that came from that movie. That's a whole other episode right there.
It's been so long since I've seen that movie.
It's such a Hot Topic core movie.
Yeah.
Like it's just the vibe of it is like try hard edgy. Like the literal posters of like Jared Leto Joker is like the item, the arrow's like pointing to like the item is like this would be like a 20% down item at a Hot Topic in the back clearance section. See the shiny purple jacket in the back.
Oh my god, yeah. Oh yeah. It's been so long. I don't remember anything from that movie, and maybe like, that's telling.
That is very telling. No, listen, it's not something to go back to at all.
Yeah.
It is like, very much a product of its era that it came out in. But like the soundtrack is not too bad.
Okay.
Like, I obviously mentioned Heathens, but like there's a posse cut called Sucker for Pain. It's with ex-ambassadors, Dan from Imagine Dragons, Lil Wayne, Logic, Wiz Khalifa. And Ty Dolla $ign.
Okay.
I like that one. That's a really that's a really dope track. I really, really like that one. That's like the one song I go back to other than Heathens. Yeah. Because I forgot there's a song on the album called Purple Lamborghini with Skrillex and Rick Ross.
Interesting.
It is very interesting. There's the music video Jared Leto Joker just walking into the club and you see just Rick Ross is standing there with his shirtless, his big belly out, and the Joker just looks at him and is like,
oh my god. See, this is how I know that I'm like in way too deep into the fandom and stuff and into like knowing things about this band, because if you go on Google Maps and you look at the coordinates of where they filmed, you can see the tire marks on the road.
Little fire.
And stuff. So, yep. Yeah. Oh, that's crazy. I'm pretty sure I saw them filming their music video for Choker at Big Fun on High Street. Yeah. So I, once again, in a little too deep. This was back in my crazy days. Where I saw on Twitter, somebody was like, oh my god, they're filming downtown or whatever. And I was driving down High Street, and I was like, I'm curious if I drive down this side road. And I was driving with somebody, we drove down the side road, and I couldn't really see, because there were guards around, like there were people making sure that nobody drove through behind Big Fun. And so I'm like driving, I'm trying to look, but trying to not be suspicious, and they looked, and they were like, I think I saw somebody like laying on a skateboard or whatever, and I'm like, huh? And then if you watch the music video, like he's in the net,
laying on the skateboard,
yes, like getting dragged by Josh down the street.
Artistic expression, guys.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, great. I got to see Tyler Joseph in a fishnet on a skateboard. That's fantastic. So
just imagine trying to get into the Big Fun and trying to buy a toy, and you just see that just
in the background. I'm like, okay,
fishnet on a skateboard.
Yeah.
You know what? Never mind. I'll go to I'll order on Amazon.
Yeah. I'm just gonna go down the street. I love that music video though, because they made the inside of Big Fun look bigger than it is. Like the name is misleading, because Big Fun, it's not.
It's medium. It's medium
like
decency.
Tiny. Yeah, it's giving cupboard under the stairs. Like it's giving Harry Potter. It's giving I'm claustrophobic and I need to get out of here now. I love Big Fun.
It feels like
it's so fun.
Uncle's attic storage.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, they're so sweet in there. I went once with my friend to go there, and I parked in the same spot I used to always park. I don't park there anymore because my car got towed. So and then my phone died as I was calling the tow company to be like, where is my car?
Right.
And so I went in and I was like, somebody just towed my car. Can I charge my phone because my phone died? They're like, oh my god, yeah, of course, this, that, the other. And we were talking to the one lady that works in there, and we were talking about 21 Pilots, so she gave us free little trash figurines. I was like, oh my god.
That's so cool.
I love if whoever's listening to this, if you're ever downtown on High Street in Columbus, Ohio,
yes,
go to Big Fun.
It's so fun. Good.
Yes. It is Big Fun. It's just not a big store. Little store, Big Fun. That's what they should have called it.
Big Fun claustrophobic.
Yeah.
I went down there. My friend had told me about that place, and I went down there for Christmas shopping.
Yeah.
And there, oh my gosh! Like I got the last Sonic figure they had in the back row. It was I felt so happy.
Yeah.
Like there was so much like Marvel Legends that I really, really wanted, but like I was balling on a budget during Christmas shopping. But I wanted there's so much Ninja Turtle stuff that I wish I just mine. But you know, I'm sure there's probably a collector that probably wants it way more than I do.
Yeah, that's
I just probably want it for the bragging rights of it.
You know what? Yeah, that's
okay.
It's
like, who else is gonna own like these really cool, highly articulated Ninja Turtle stuff?
Yeah,
I will. I will carry that burden.
Yep.
Nobody else will.
Take care of them like your children.
This is my Leonardo.
Yeah.
You don't talk to him.
Don't talk to little Leo.
Don't talk my Leo.
Yeah.
Say, don't worry. Don't pull the katanas out. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
It's okay, Mikey. They didn't mean it.
Take a pizza. It's fine. It's fine.
Love.
It's like Donna's just writing fan fiction about Ninja Turtle toy children.
Yup.
You know, that's what happens when you're in the creative zone.
Yeah.
You know, just go off these unhinged creative rants and you're just like, I really just said that.
You know what? It's okay.
You know?
It's creativity. It's part of the process.
Exactly. You know?
We talked a lot about that in school of, don't expect to get a job in your industry straight out of college. If you do, fantastic, do it. The chair of our department, like I said, her name is Charlotte, was incredible. When we were in school, she was like, if you get an opportunity while you were in school, you stop going to school and you take that opportunity because you can always return to school later. You don't know that you're going to be guaranteed that opportunity later on. And stuff. So she was very good at being very supportive in that realm, because I did have somebody that I actually started college with in 2019, and then she left when COVID hit. She left school and she works at Nickelodeon now. She does background art, stuff like that. She is incredible. So if you know, I always forget how to pronounce her last name, so I fear if I pronounce this correctly, this is my bad. But her first name is Ein Bowie, I think is how you pronounce. She is incredible. Doing amazing things. She was incredible while we were in school. She's incredible now, and stuff. But she was one of those that was like, hey, you have the opportunity, take it and go. And it worked out. But then, our professors and stuff were also very supportive of if you don't get something straight out of college, that doesn't mean you're bad. That doesn't mean you're failing. It's just a difficult industry.
Yes.
And especially now that we've got, the monopoly man, Disney, taking over all of the different studios, it limits things even more and stuff. So, just having to work myself out of that mentality of I have to get a job straight out of school, because family pressure. That's so have you gotten a job yet? And I'm like, yes, and I'm flipping pizzas. Leave me alone, okay? I'm taking a break.
Hey, listen, nobody's better than little money's better than no money.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So if it's not the proudest flex, flipping pizzas, but it's the dollar that you make is your own.
Listen, honestly, to me, if somebody's I can spin a pizza in the air and I'm like, that is a flex, because I can't do that.
That's the coolest party trick ever.
I know. I'm like, how are you? Huh? I do it in a 6 to ceiling, the classic, cliche. It's on the ceiling. And I'm like, okay, great. Now we have to flame throw the ceiling to cook this.
It's all these pepperonis on the ceiling now.
Yep. Oh gosh. Yep.
No, I absolutely relate to that. I had a film professor who was very, very supportive of everybody.
Yeah.
He gave us a lot of good hints, advice of exploring different revenues and networking with people. Networking is so important to get those opportunities that you talked about.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to really get anything if you just stand there and just assume that you will get it because of your credentials that you have. No, you got to build yourself to that and work your way up to a specific level where someone will notice your work and be like, oh, I could use something like that with this production that I have. Would you be interested?
Yeah.
So I got so many wonderful opportunities, getting to build myself up to that, just putting myself out there. That's the key thing. Just putting yourself out there. Don't be even if they say no, they'll at least remember, like, try to remember you.
Yep.
You know, like, just have something to present yourself with, make yourself stand out. Don't make it feel forced. Don't feel forced to, like, try and, like, you know, like, hey, you know, I'm this person, please hire me. Don't assume that. Like, just come off natural, just be yourself about it, but, like, it's not bad to, like, flush a little time. You know?
Yeah, no, I totally agree, and I think that's, like, such a great point, too, is that networking is so important. Like, yes, you can have the degree, yes, you can have the skill set, stuff like that, but I think networking is the biggest thing for getting yourself out there, like you were saying, of just, like, naturally get to know people, because, maybe you want an opportunity a lot, you know, and you're worried, you're like, oh, but I want them to like me and stuff, like, be yourself still, because if that's not the right environment for you to be in, then you're not going to end up in that environment being yourself. You don't want to, like, change yourself to get this job and then be just, like, miserable at that job. You know, you'd rather just get somewhere that you're supposed to be. And so I think that's also been, like, a thing for me. I deal with a lot of, like, social anxiety. I don't like, I like getting to know people, but my brain does not like getting to know new people. I think that was the weekend also of Pride and stuff, but I did not go to Pride, sorry guys, because I went to the anime convention for all 3 days, so, I said the gay can wait, the gay can wait, the geek is out right now.
I'll slay another day, the month, June is still young.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, a 3-day weekend, it's fine, I can be straight for 3 days, no, actually not, I take that back, I can just not go support my gay people, because I do that every other day of the year, so it's fine.
I can parade another day.
Yeah.
Let me just fabulous another time.
I'll just, like, voguing or something like that.
Voguing. Something
like that.
Something around that. I think it's voguing.
Okay.
No,
I can do that a different day. I do that all the time anyway, so it's fine.
Oh my gosh.
Who needs to be around a bunch of sweaty gay people when you can be around a bunch of sweaty geeky people? So
those sweaty gays gave out a 5% off coupon for Donato's at the parade.
Okay.
Very much.
Period.
This is the first parade I've ever been to.
Nice.
So, like, I had no idea what to expect.
Yeah.
So it was wonderful.
I should have just looked out the window and, like, waved to everybody as they passed by and then went back in.
It's like, yes, hello, parade person.
Hi, fellow gays. I'm in the air conditioning
The gays
today.
and the bays.
Yeah. Hi, gays and bays. I'm in the AC. So
you would have came with me. Come to the AC.
That weekend, yes.
Oh, that's awesome. So fellow LGBTQ. Yes.
Let's go.
What was your story for you?
Yeah. So just, like, whole, like, queer journey. I think the typical, like, discovering myself in middle school, being like, oh, this is YouTube, that's what the key was, of, like,
there you go.
You know, the classic, like, oh, I've always felt different from everybody, but I don't really understand why, and then middle school era for me was, like, the coming out era on YouTube, so that's when, like, my favorite, like, I think it was funny, all the people that I was, like, super into at that time, some of these names might be controversial now, I know, I don't watch them now, I watched them back in middle school before I knew
didn't know better.
Yes, so, like, Shane Dawson came out, Connor Francis came out, Tyler Oakley came out, Troye Sivan came out, like, a bunch of people were coming out, and I was like, okay, maybe me too. Maybe that's what it is. But then kind of, like, kept that to myself for a little bit because I went to school in a pretty, like, conservative area, and people weren't very fond of people like us. Yes. No. Even though we did have a few people that were, like, very openly out, and they were very themselves and stuff, and that was, like, very inspirational at the time to, like, watch them, but I watched them from behind the curtain, because I was like, I'm too scared to go out there. Yeah. And then when I got to college is when I kind of just embraced it, and I was like, this is who I am. Right. And then I did, you know, I started dating when I was in college and things like that, and so that's how, like, family came to know about that kind of stuff, and thankfully they changed their perspective and their views on that kind of stuff as well.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, so I definitely had, like, a more positive, like, I would say, like, privileged experience with that stuff of, like, growing up in a family that, you know, hearing them talk about those types of things, you're like, oh, maybe I'm not welcome here, and then them finding out who you are and them being like, okay, maybe we can change a little. I'm like,
right, like it's baby steps.
Now
like,
they're like, I see this rainbow thing. Do you want it? And I'm like, Mom, no, it's okay. I don't need a Disney Pride flag, backpack.
I don't want the corporate Pride mother, but thank you.
Yes, I appreciate the support, but that's okay. That's okay.
If it's a queer themed donut, then like that's a whole other story.
Yeah. If it's a donut, give it to me.
Yes.
Like a just typical ice donut. Oh my god.
There's love to give for everybody.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And
yes.
that's like kind of discovering that about myself.
Yeah.
I don't really like share it out loud because like I just kind of like a thing that's like I don't really owe that,
Yes.
but like. Yeah. But like it's still a thing that's like I'm not ashamed of it. You know, like I will happily talk about it.
Yeah.
It's just not like it's gonna be the first thing that's like I present about myself.
Yes.
I just happen to be that. You know what I mean? And like there's not really a lot of Pride like pan stuff out there.
Yeah.
Like there's barely any like pan merch that shirts that I try to find for it.
Yeah, I feel like people are like Bi and pan, they're the same thing. So we're just gonna put Bi flag out. It's like,
I like calling Pan the DLC for Bi. It's everything else that they didn't get.
Yeah. Oh my god, that's actually incredible. I love that. That's like, oh my god, not me being a nerd. That's like Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach with the Ruin DLC. Like, like the extra little, yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I know. I think that's where I'm at too, is like, from like when I kind of discovered myself and was like, I like women and I don't like men. Back in middle school, and then like to college, like actually dating somebody, and whatnot for quite a long time, and then that not working out. It is what it is, and stuff. And like being where I'm at now, I've gotten comfortable with being gay and being like, and like slaying everywhere I go, voguing everywhere I go, stuff like that. But still having like the serious conversations with people and being like, what's your journey? What's this, that? Like I'm still getting acclimated to that because I'm not used to being in an environment where people are like, I want to hear your story. I said, I've been friends with so many straight people that it's like, obviously I'm friends with people that are supportive. I would not be friends with people that aren't.
Right.
I've cut people off that. Cut people off that are not supportive and stuff. When I've figured that out, discovered that about them. But being in such a like queer space now, like that is so much more talked about, and I'm like, wow. Like, we're actually talking about this, and this is nice. Like,
I love that. Like, I wish there was a lot more spaces of that, because there's few and far between in terms of that. Yeah. Especially for, like, people that don't feel represented or seen. Yeah. And, like, building communities of that makes me feel happy, because people can realize, hey, there are people out there. Yes. You just gotta... This is a point of reaching out. Yeah. And I'm very grateful that to have a lot of my friends that kind of helped me in a way with my journey of discovering myself and making me realize that there is more to me than I thought I knew about. Yeah. And so it's been great to have that community in college where I felt like I didn't really have a lot of people that I can talk to about things like that, because everybody was busy and with classes or in their own group, and having people that were open allowed me to be in that space. I'm extremely, extremely grateful for. Yeah. And even with the friendships that didn't work out, because there. A lot of that, unfortunately.
Yep,
but
that's unfortunately just part of life. But you keep moving.
They're on their own journey, and you're on yours. Don't let one little thing just stop yourself. Yep. Well, now we have a segment of our show where I know we had talked about music prior, but a little part of our show where our special guest gives out a musical recommendation for everyone to give out. So any new stuff that you've been listening to recently?
My current repeat playlist, it consists of one song on repeat for 8 hours a day, is The Contract by 21 Pilots. I love it. There is a little bit of auto-tune in it, so some people are like, ew, the auto-tune, but I promise if you listen to it a couple of times,
it's not that
fantastic.
Bad. It definitely not as bad as the early stuff. If you're wanting
something outside of 21 Pilots, because I would tell you just listen to all of 21 Pilots music. I'm trying to think of something. I would say Milk. I would say that is like my kind of like, here, give this a listen. So if you like the 1975, you like that type of music, I recommend give them a listen. I'm trying to think of the names of some of their songs, but yes, I recommend them, I would say.
Awesome. My recommendation is I recently found out about this YouTube channel called Pagefire. They are a YouTube channel that gives tutorials on how to make specific genres of music. Yeah. They talked about post-rock and there's a song called Drop Dead Gorgeous that they do that's like kind of a pastiche of like late like post-grunge kind of rock. Okay. And it's such a great song. Okay. It's such a great song. Yeah. So like I absolutely recommend that one. Another song I've been listening to a lot, it's called First Responders by Dinner Party. That is a collective made of jazz musicians and a hip-hop producer. Kamasi Washington, Terrence Martin, Robert Glasper, and Ninth Wonder. So they've done they have 2 albums out right now. This song, First Responders was on the debut record of theirs. Yeah. I absolutely love that song. It's such a good like chill vibe that like gets your head nodding. Mm-hmm. Great saxophone playing by Kamasi, so I absolutely recommend that one.
That's so cool.
And just thank you so much, friend, for being on my show.
Of course, thank you for having me. Absolutely. I feel so like official now because I'm like, oh my God, I'm on a podcast. Official now. Yeah, or just like as an artist too, I'm like, oh my God, somebody's interviewing me, kind of.
Yes, because you deserve it. You are absolutely amazing. You are crazy talented, and like I know, just met in a while, but like I just love being with you and just hanging with you and just getting your energy. Yes. And just love to see where you go forward from here. And just thank you again for being on this. Thank you. Of course. So where can people find you?
Yeah. So I am on Instagram primarily. Under the @57.studios. I think I have like a YouTube and stuff, but I don't post to that. But if you want 21 Pilots specific stuff, I use the handle 57 Pilots on Instagram as well for like, they call it click art. That's what the fandom's fan art is called. So, so 57 Studios is the best handle to find me at. Yes.
All right. Thank you. And thank you all for listening. Make sure that you all like, comment, subscribe. Y'all know what to do. Yep. Please follow, if you want to listen to the show, have it on Spotify and Apple Music, as well as my YouTube channel, Formal Film Productions, where all episodes will be going up. Please make sure you give it a like, give it 5 stars, boost it up in the old algorithm. Thank you again, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. This has been Zach's Artful Podcast, where creativity meets conversation. I'm your Zach Cobb, and I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful day.